Welcome back, fellow travelers. I want to talk to you today about United Polaris. Now you might be like, what is United Polaris? Well, back in June, United announced that they're going to be changing the way they do their business class offerings. Particularly of interest and of note is on their Boeing 777s. So in the past, the last few years, they had reconfigured and redesigned their business class offerings on the 777s, which included lay flat beds. One thing that was really different though than what a lot of other airlines were doing was that they lay flat beds weren't herringbone styled like you see here on some of the other seat charts for certain airlines. What they were doing though was they're doing straight ahead or even facing backwards. And on these 777 aircrafts, you'd have a configuration of 2, 4, and 2, as you can see here. That's right, 4 seats in the middle in business class. And I was one of the unfortunate people to get stuck in a middle seat in business class in this configuration on my way to Beijing from Chicago. So a lengthy flight indeed. What I had experienced on that flight was incredible for the wrong reasons. Now, a lot has been said about United's soft product, how they treat their customers and paying passengers. I gotta say, the staff on board the United flights, I was treated great by the staff on board and by the airport staff. So really no complaints there. My gripe was really about how the seating configuration was. And then I'll talk more about the changes coming to Polaris, some of them which have already started taking place. What went down was that I got stuck in that middle seat, and because it was a long flight, after a while I like to sleep on these types of long flights just to try to get my clock synced up to wherever I'm landing. And what happened was that when I woke up, I needed to go to the bathroom, as I always do on aircrafts, and both people beside me were sleeping. And because the lay flat beds face straight ahead or straight backwards, I have to climb over somebody, literally climb, literally climb over somebody or wake them up and have them move. And the whole process of them getting up takes a few minutes. So in this case, it was really hard for me to get out of my seat. I ended up having to jump over somebody. I accidentally stepped on them, apologized, and I needed to go out another time, so I actually woke them back up. I felt super bad. It was really like such an unpleasant experience climbing over people. I don't know why they ever thought that was a good idea to design it like this. Yeah, they were trying to cram in more seats to get more revenue, but really, I haven't flown on a United business class flight going overseas because of this exact reason, in fear of getting that type of seat again. So they lost money. For me at least, because I never wanted to book them again for a business class flight. Now on the way back, again, I'll touch on this quick. The reason that I had a different experience is that I actually got an aisle. So yes, I had an aisle seat. I wouldn't have to climb over anybody. But what did happen was I was in the last row, and the last row faces towards economy. And this was like such an awkward situation because I'd gotten my food really early. Economy class wasn't even being served yet. The curtain was open, and as I'm eating my food, there are 3 people that are just staring at me, and they were a lot older than I was, so they were probably judging me because I was younger, I was sitting in business class, I looked like I was quite pampered, and the whole time I was eating, they were just deadlock set on me, and I'm not gonna engage anybody and ask them to not stare at me. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed too. And when I went to bed, I'd lie down, I'd have my lie flat bed, and I can hear the other people just talking loudly amongst one another, and they're on board an aircraft, they have every right to talk. Now, would the sound have been any different if I was facing the other way? Probably, because I was really I was facing straight ahead, and you can see on the seat map how there's kind of that diagonal push. It's just the sound just carried perfectly to that seat, and I actually couldn't really get that much sleep. And then eventually I did fall asleep, and when I woke up, I saw the people that were so crammed trying to sleep, and one of the people was still awake and looking at me again. So it was super uncomfortable, and I felt so bad for the people in economy. Yeah, they had such bad conditions, being in the middle of the aircraft, having their own middle seats, not getting their food as quickly, probably really hungry. I felt guilty. Not only that, I'm looking at other people. I just want to mind my own business. I would have preferred more privacy, is what it was. That's, you're traveling, I would like some privacy as I'm traveling. Probably the 2 worst business class flights I've ever taken. And that's not to say the food was actually pretty good. As I mentioned before, the flight attendants were great. Flight was smooth. I had no complaints except for the seating configuration, but it was so bad that really I needed to stay away. And it's important that if you're booking on a United aircraft, in business class. They're currently going through a retransformation, as I mentioned earlier. They've already rebranded everything as Polaris. They've stated that the soft product has already been in effect. So what that means is that you get, better amenities, better service, better food, which, as I mentioned, the food for me was already pretty good. So that's great. Awesome. But what's important to note is that the seating configuration hasn't yet changed on all aircrafts, particularly the Boeing 777-200 series. So if you're booking a flight and it's on the 200 series, you're going to have these straight ahead seats. You might have better amenities, but the seating, as was my biggest gripe, is still there. Now the 777-300s looks like they have been retrofitted. I don't know if that's fleet-wide, but going on to Seat Guru does show that the seating has changed. So I'm really excited to try to experience that. I don't know when I'm going to get onto a United flight, but now I'm really interested in trying this product out. And when I do, I will definitely have a review up. But more than that, if you have flown on the new redesigned aircraft, please let me know how it is in the comments. What were your thoughts? I would love to know. But really, in the meantime, this is really a PSA, because I'm not really going to do a full-on review of the whole 777 experience that I had with United, because really, they're changing the aircraft. This thing is going to be so irrelevant after they've done this thing. I just want it as kind of a warning for anybody that's traveling. Make sure you book the right ones, or if you don't, make sure you get yourself an aisle seat. And the reason why I ended up with a middle seat was they had an aircraft configuration and they slotted me into a middle seat, which I wasn't happy with, but whatever. Again, I didn't really like it when I had an aisle seat anyways, so it wasn't that big of a loss. I'm just happy that they're redesigning it yet again. I'd like to thank you for making me a part of your day. If you'd like to watch more videos, you can do that right over here. And if you'd like to subscribe, which lets you know when we have new videos up, you can do that right over here as well. Until next time, safe travels.